What's up guys, welcome back to another Ryan Young video, and today we're going to talk about why health is greater than everything. And contrary to popular belief, people always have that saying, why live 100 years as a sheep when you can live 20 years as a lion? And I'll tell you exactly why you shouldn't have this belief in the video. So to get started, let's really dissect what this philosophy is. By saying that, you're essentially admitting that your life is only worth living a few certain amount of years. Your life is not worth living past a certain extent. That's what you're admitting to when you say this. So having these thoughts of ending, having these thoughts of there's always going to be an end, so why not commit to that final amount of life that I have, instead of actually thinking of, I want to experience my life the way it's intended to be. I don't want anything to affect the amount of time I live, and I also want to live the best life. That is true health. That is the truth of health. It isn't just longevity. Health does not equal longevity, right? There's a correlation to living longer and obviously not being sickly, but you'll see all these guys that just live so long, but then they literally look like shit. They feel like shit. So what's the point then? Well, the point is not to die early, but the point's also not to expedite how unhealthy you look. I'm gonna give a very valid point of view on how you can actually meet the middle ground in this scenario. Number one is to stop focusing on one thing. Stop focusing on just the gym. Do sports, do swimming, try new things, try different things. Maybe it'll work differently. Maybe it'll increase your health and it'll decrease the amount of time you waste. For example, a lot of people don't do the same exercise on a machine, right? Because everyone is different. Everyone has a different stimulus to muscle ratio. Everyone has different genetics. Everyone's response is not the same, right? Imagine you just did the same thing for years and years. You never realize what truly worked for you, for your individual scenario. All right, that's the first point. You need to change your ability to embrace change. If this means joining a swim club, if this means joining a boxing club, you get more cardio, you get different types and forms of fitness. It's way better than just going to the gym. The second thing is more of a psychological thing, and that's reading books. That's becoming more knowledgeable about the world. Like, the less knowledgeable you are, the more like cortisol you have, like the more stress, the more like unknown there is. The more you know, the more you believe, the more you can fully justify everything. That goes a long way. Imagine you walk into the gym, right? And there is literally no way you know how to do anything in that bitch. And then imagine you're like a full-on bodybuilder, you know how to do everything. Who's having more cortisol? Who's having more stress? Obviously not the bodybuilder. He's just going to go in, do his workout, and he's going to be fine. The guy with no knowledge is going to be stressing because he's going to be worried if he can't lift the weight. He's going to be worried. He's going to be scared of every little thing, right? The knowledge is one of the most valuable, important things you can have. Thirdly is when you start to do something and you feel like it's not working out for you. You feel like, all right, well, let's just change instantly. Change isn't something you should use instantly, right? It's something that's an adaptation to something else, right? So why are we changing something that already works for us? Why aren't we just doing this thing so that until it works, or if it doesn't, that it doesn't make sense to completely change everything you're doing instantly? Because the thing is, if you go to the gym for 1 year and you see the newbie gains, right? But then the second year you're like, where did my gains go? Like, did they just disappear in thin air? And then you stop going and you lose all that work you've used for the first year. Why the fuck did you go the first year? Exactly. Everything becomes pointless if you don't commit. All right? So committing to a certain amount of time on certain thing like sports, swimming, basketball, the gym, boxing, anything, studying, using your brain, bro. Your brain uses calories and shit, bro. Like, come on. But literally just committing to something can be one of the best things you ever do in your life, because you'll be able to say something about it. It'll give you the health benefits and you'll have knowledge. Now, it doesn't mean if you're doing something for 3 to 5 to even 10 years and nothing is working, that doesn't mean you can't do the rule step 1, which is change or do a variety of things. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to commit. Do a variety of things means you can commit to something and you can still do a ton of shit. Like, you can still go do like a cooking. You can still like learn how to cook or whatever. You can still play golf. You can still like go to the beach or whatever you do, like anything. But yeah, this ideology of I live so long, I'm healthy, it doesn't make sense. People saying I want to live so long, but like, dude, you're living a shit life. You want to experience life to its fullest extent. It just doesn't make sense. And the same goes for the other side. Why waste your opportunity? You know, like, yeah, you might not see that as an opportunity of living a little longer than you should, but every life should be experienced to its fullest extent, and you're cutting that short. Doesn't make sense. So overall, having the mindset of quick gains in the gym, having the mindset of only doing one certain thing in life, having the mindset of just not committing enough will really create regret. And I've really noticed that in myself. Even though I'm a young guy, I really wish I committed to a lot of things. So if you're worried about that thing that, you know, if you don't have any knowledge on it, the only way you're going to obtain knowledge on it is by doing it and committing to it. And continuing to learn these nuances about the specific activity, the specific thing that you're committing to. So yeah, this was just a quick video. This is just real talk. Barely any editing. I just wanted to talk about this because I can, and it's my YouTube channel, so yeah, cool. But yeah, if you really enjoyed this video, doesn't really hurt to leave a like or comment or sub, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So peace.